heard about you trying to rob me. This is your first and only warning. Don't fuck with me, okay? Don't fuck with me, because I'm going to kill you. Before I kill you, I'm going to kill everybody that you love first, just so I can see that pain in your eyes right before I kill you. So watch out. Please watch out. And you girl, pow! I'm the Mac. Yeah. I'm the Mac. I'm the Mac. I'm the Mac. I'm the Mac. Hey, city boys. It's me, Saint, your favorite movie commentator / executive / weather forecaster / conspiracy theorist. Let me keep going. / plumber, electrician, carpenter, and I do tiles as well, city boys. Yes, I do. I put in heated tiles too. I switched it up on y'all. Yeah. So if you need some heated tile, heated paveways, driveways, hit me up. Hey city boys, it's me Saint, and I'm back again for another video. Let's just get this out of the way. I do have my brace on today. My hands, when I tell you city boys, it's going through a lot right now, so we're just gonna act like we don't see her, okay? She's just a part of the look. Today, city boys, we're gonna be doing another movie breakdown. Today we are going to be breaking down the MACK, city boys. I'm the Mac. 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 So this film came out in 1973. It was shot in California. We're gonna do first, you already know, the background, so you guys can get the historical context of what is going on, not only in the United States of America, but in California at this time, to why this movie means something. A lot of this information that I'm getting is from the Black Scare in California, Black Reds in the Revolution in 1860s and 70s by Joel Wetlandlu. I'm sorry if I pronounced their name wrong. In their article, it states, the Black Panther Party rise and fall in the 1960s and 70s was not inevitable, but the direct result of state-sanctioned repression. George Holm, Armed Struggles, drawing from the 139 collectives, exposed how Southern California's racist power structure included the Los Angeles Police Department and LA County Sheriff Department, both closely affiliated with the Joan Bridge Society, retaliated against civil rights gains with violent policing, sparking the 1965 Watts riot. This backlash fueled police marginalization and political repression, culminating in Ronald Reagan's 1966 election as California governor. Backed by monopoly capital and the military-industrial complex, Reagan's administration enforced a racist terror campaign targeting the Black Panthers Party's survival programs with COINTELPRO, assassinations, and mass incarcerations. Hornell's work revealed a brutal truth. The Black Panthers Party's decline was a deliberate crushing of Black resilience, a history that reverberates in today's struggles for justice. This period laid the foundation for the Black Panthers Party revolutionary visions. The Communist Party, often erased from mainstream narratives, played a pivotal role in reshaping the struggle, reframing Black liberation through the lenses of class struggle. This radical reimagining of Black resilience did not just influence Southern California. It reverberated nationwide, setting the stage for the Black Panther Party militant defense. Reagan's racist governance did not just terrorize Black communities, it paved the way for Richard Nixon's 1968 presidential victory in the so-called war on drugs, a thinly veiled war on Black liberation. Nixon's own advisor, John Grob, I don't care about his last name, later admitted the truth. The policy was never about public health. It was about criminalization. As Ruth Wilson Gilmore revealed in Abolition Geographic, this was the blueprint for mass incarceration, a system designed while enabling neoliberal exploitation. Before Reagan, California invested in education. After him, it built cages. Governor Pat Brown's visionary institution expansion was dismantled. And in its place, Gilmore's prison boom, a brutal exchange of classrooms for cells. This was not just policy, it was punishment, retaliation for Black defiance. And like I said, city boys, this starts the pipeline from the classroom to the prison cells. Explicit segregation was ending, but housing discrimination remained rampant. Black residents were often restricted to underfunded neighborhoods, and the disparity in resources led to the Kenner Commission warning in 1968 that the U.S. was moving towards two societies, one Black and one white, separate and not equal. The election of Governor Ronald Reagan in 1966 moved a shift towards a conservative agenda that emphasizes tough on crime policies and retaliation against Black student defiance. This environment later paved the way for policies that contributed heavily in mass incarceration. In Los Angeles in 1968, police institutions, the department operated operated 13 large institutions, 34 conservation camps. The population of institutions and camps increased by about 1,000 per 2-year period, exceeding 2,800 for the first time. By the end of 1968, the institution population increased 28,460. Okay, are you guys ready? Before we even get into the film, I see this film as the black man's journey outside of prison. Like, once he gets released out of prison or jail, it's kind of like a ski lift. Like, before you're able to even get your bearings and jump off, it's already continuing to go. All right, so it's either you jump off or you continue in the cycle that they have created for you. So this film starts in 1968. So you see Priest and you see my dude Richard Pryor. Can I say this, because I did not say this in my Wiz video? Out of every single comedian that became an actor, I feel like Richard Pryor is number one. He is such a great actor. Like, in the Wiz he ate it, I'm a phony. What big phony? You know what I mean? This film starts off with Goldie and Richard Pryor's character, and they are like partners or whatever, and they're trying to do this deal, but the deal ends up being a setup, City Boys, and they end up getting set up by the cops, City Boys. So it's like a whole bunch starts going on. It's like a shootout. I think Goldie was trying to drive away and his car like flipped over. He is laying flipped in the, you know what I mean, the upside down car, City Boys. He's laying there. He's like in and out of consciousness. Why these two white police officers come up to him, City Boys, and they talking to each other while looking at him, and he looking at them. He can't really move. He can't talk. And they're over here like, oh, should we just kill him? You know, one less black man on the street. We should just kill him. And the other one's like, oh, nah, let's not kill him, because if we kill him, it's gonna be extra paperwork for us. So let's just leave this little coon. That's what they called him, a coon, right? Now it ends up switching, and Goldie is in court, and he ends up getting 5 years in jail. Well, prison, because isn't it like more than 4 years you go to prison? Something like that. He's locked up, and while he's in his prison cell, one of the guys in the cell near him, they're like banging on things, like banging on the metal, whatever. He looks like he's going crazy, City Boys. He looks like he's losing his mind. And you just see him. He's eating the food from his bowl. He don't got no utensils, City Boys. And he is just, you can see he's going through hell. So he ends up finally getting released. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I see prison as a portal, honestly. Yes, some people do deserve to be in prison. A lot of people do deserve to be in prison. Some of them we already know are unjust arrests. And when it comes to people like that, and even like the bad people too, I see prison as a portal, City Boys. Because regardless of who it is, when they go in there and they come out, they're never the same person. Sometimes in some small cases, like the Malcolm X's, they come out more educated. Because they were forced to sit by themselves, sit in their thoughts, sit in their actions, they end up deciding that this is not the path I want to be on, and they do a great change. But then there's a lot of other individuals that when they go to prison, either for one, they turn into the animal that they created them to be. Prison is not rehabilitation. Well, prison in America is not rehabilitation. A lot of these people go into prison, right? Let's say you at a level 4, you go into prison, you'll come out as a level 7, 8, 9 because of the ways in which you are being treated. It's very animalistic. They treat you like an animal, and they expect you not to act like an animal in there and when you come out. And also there's other people that when they go into prison, they are talking with other prisoners and they're becoming more sneaky with the things that they want to do. Or sometimes they become more violent because they didn't have time to do it while they were locked up. So they feel like they gotta make up for it. So now we see Goldie being released from prison, and he's on the bus going back to his neighborhood. And that is when we get our title card as well as our song. So our song for this movie is talking about Goldie, and it's just saying, you know, the cat's name is Goldie, and all he wants to do is get money in his hand. That's basically it. He got this plan to get some money in his hands. That's the only plan he got, really. He just wants to make some money. So as soon as Goldie gets off of the bus, he does not go to his mom. He don't go to see his brother. Mind you, after 5 years, he don't go to see his mom. He don't go to see his brother. He goes into like this kind of club, and there's a whole bunch of pimps in there. And he ends up going to one of his old bosses. I believe Goldie used to sell drugs, I think. I'm not really sure. But he ends up going to one of his old bosses. His old boss is talking to him like, you know, Goldie, you're very smart. You were one of my best men. You know, you was on top of your game. But I told you before that it was a setup, and you ain't believe me. But, you know, start believing me now. And he ends up telling Goldie, you can be a pimp just like me. With the talents that you have, you could become one of the top pimps out here. So his old boss ends up putting Goldie on game. He tells Goldie, a pimp is only as good as his who? A pimp is only as good as his woman. So if you have top women, you're going to make good money. Don't worry about quantity, worry about the quality. But the first thing that you got to do with these women is get into their minds. Fuck getting into their hearts, get into their minds. Because once you get into their minds, they're going to do anything that you want them to do. They're going to do anything to make you happy, to appease you. So that means more money in your pocket. So Goldie, he's like, you know, he's taking in the information and he walks on. So as he's walking, right, the shot, like the scenery in itself is a little bit dark, but Goldie is lit up, okay? I want you guys to remember that. He ends up running into this girl that he used to know, like one of his old friends. Her name is Lulu. So Lulu now, she is mainly covered in that darkness, but she has a red light beaming on her, city boys. Lulu is one of Goldie's first sacrifices. The sacrifice of a woman. So in their conversation, they're catching up, and Lulu ends up telling Goldie that she's a prostitute now, and she's been looking for a pimp, but she doesn't want just any old pimp. She wants a good one. She wants him. So she's choosing him. She's choosing him. And Goldie ends up telling her like, like, you know, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. While they're having this conversation, she asked him how was his time in prison. And for one, Goldie remembered his time in prison to the second, city boys. He remembered his time in prison to the second. And I'm gonna put in the number right here, and we're gonna put a pin in that and get back to it. As he's telling her this, he tells her basically what I just told you before about the whole portal. He ends up telling her that prison or jail is supposed to be rehabilitation, but when you're in there, they literally treat you like an animal and expect you not to act like the animal that they treated you to be. I put in my notes like that's just the paradox of life. There's a lot of paradoxes going on in this movie, City Boys, but we're gonna continue. So then Goldie ends up getting back to Lulu, and he asks her like, you know, out of everybody, I sat in my prison cell and I thought about you, and I thought about all the amazing things that you would be doing with your life. Like, you're so smart. I imagined you to be a nurse or something, not to be a prostitute. And she tells him like, you know, that's an amazing dream for you to have for me, and I wanted that for myself as well, but this is just not the reality that I live in. I have to make money. I have to find a way to pay bills. And me going to school to become a nurse, that takes money in itself. That takes time that I do not have. So I gotta make it the best way I can, which is what she has, which is her body. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put a pause in this, City Boys. As a black woman, I don't care about the diaspora. As a black woman, that is what you feel like is your only worth. Is your physical appearance, is your looks, especially just as a woman in general, because a lot of men make it a point to say, if you're not an attractive woman, you can't speak to me. If you're not an attractive woman, you can't critique me. If you're not, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's all that you have, and that's all that the world wants you to believe that you have. So Goldie ends up ending the conversation with telling Lulu that he'll think about her becoming his bottom bitch, okay? So as he leaves out the club, City Boys, why the same two white men, the same two white cops, let's be specific, the same two white cops that were watching Priest basically die. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all, when they was watching Priest, you know, slowly dying, he was over here like, damn, now we gotta call the ambulance. Now we wasting tax money. Do we not pay taxes too? Do we not pay taxes too? Anyways. But yeah, so he ends up running into the same two white cops. And they are, when I tell you, roughing up Goldie, telling him like, oh, you look fucking crazy, your outfit looks fucking crazy, where your money at? Where your money at? You used to dress nice, where your money at, right? And he tells Goldie, well, yeah, they both end up telling Goldie, if you sneeze wrong, we gonna arrest you. If you blink wrong, we gonna arrest you. Like, we're just waiting for something to arrest you with. And Goldie's just standing there, and he ends up pointing to like a guy down there, down the way. And he's like, oh, there's a dealer down there selling crack. Go buy a little crack so we can arrest you. Our foot is in your ass. Like, it is what it is. You gonna go to jail one way or another. Either we gonna put you in jail or we're gonna find a reason to kill you. Start running. Run. So we can shoot you. So now Goldie finally goes to see his mom, and we see our red, white, and blue City Boys. So as he's talking to his mother, first his mother's just like, you know, my baby, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong to make you end up in the position that you're in? And she tells him, we should have never moved. We should have stayed where we were. I should have never moved you to this neighborhood. And Goldie tells her, you had no other choice. After Dad died, you had no money. You had to leave. He's telling her like, you know, Mom, I'm gonna do something great for us. Like, I'm gonna get you that place that I always told you I was gonna get you. I'm gonna get you the furs that I always told you I would get you. Like, you're gonna live a great life, and I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna make this money. His mom looks at him, and she's like, where are you gonna make this? Like, tell me, explain to me how you're gonna make this money. And Priest don't want to say it. He don't want to say it. And his mom can see he's into some shit now. He's into some shit. And she tells him, Priest, just please come to church with me. Please just come to church with me. And I said, Priest. She tells Goldie, and mind you, this whole time, she's not calling him Goldie. She's calling him by his government name. Yes, the name that she blessed him with, Cody. So she says, Cody, please come with me. Like, come to me to church, Cody. You know, I really think you need to hear the word. Goldie kind of catches a little attitude with her. And he tells her, in these 5 years, that's all I could do was sit and wait. Sit and think. Sit and think. But he never said to pray. But sit and think. Sit and think. I don't want to think no more, Mom. I want to do. I want to do action now, Mom. I need to get back what I think I lost in this lifetime. And he tells his mom he's going to fight the man the only way he knows. Okay, put a pin in that. So his mom cries and she hugs him and he leaves. So now we are taking to a pro-black meeting, City Boys. We're taking to a black power like meeting. And in this meeting, there's a man standing up and we see not red, white, and blue, but red, green, and yellow, City Boy. No, red, green, and black. We see red, green, and black, City Boys, which is the flag colors of the Black Power movement. So he is speaking to his people and he's telling them that we have to create our Black America. We're not going back to Africa. So we're going to create our Black America here in America. That has nothing to do with these white people. They're not putting their hands into things where it does not belong. We're creating our own society so we can finally flourish. So we can finally be the gods and goddesses that we were created to be. He then talks about how white people like to steal everything when it comes to the black culture. They steal hairstyles. City Boys, what the fuck are Bo Derek braids, City Boys? What are boxer braids, City Boys? What is it called? A cloud bob, City Boys. Next, they take the dialect. They want to call it, oh, TikTok language when it's AAVE. It's African American vernacular, but Black American vernacular, okay? They want to take the hand signs, the way that we greet each other. They're taking everything, City Boys. So he continues to say, you know what? If they're going to keep taking, we're going to keep creating. Because they cannot create. All they can do is take. So at the ending of this speech, we end up finding out that this is Goldie's brother, City Boys. I don't know if it's his older brother or younger brother. I want to say younger. I'm not really 100% sure. But this is his brother, and he is so excited to see Goldie. You can see in his eyes, like, he turned into a kid, like a little kid. And he, like, not jumps into his hands, but he just grabs and embraces his brother. And they're both so happy to see each other. And his brother is telling him, like, you know, I'm just so excited for you to join my movement. Like, I'm just so excited for you to, like, you know, speak your words to the people. Talk to them about your experience in prison and let them know that this is not the life that they want to live, you know? His brother is talking about how he wants to take the drugs out of the neighborhoods. He wants to put back black love and black dignity into our black people, to make them know that they're worth more than these gangs, to let them know that they're worth more than these drugs and being a prostitute, being a pimp. So next, we are shown two pimps and they are having a conversation. And one of the pimps is basically talking about how he treats his women. So he's like, what I do is I get my girls, right? And what I do is I take all the money from my girls and I give them a little bit here and there. So, you know, I make sure that they got their hair done, they got their nails, and they got nice outfits on. But I never let them have any pocket cash. And then every couple times a month, I surprise them with a little $100 bill. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel good. But at the same time, it's keeping my control on them. If they have too much money, they don't need me no more. But if they only get money here or there, they see me as somebody higher than them, somebody that is superior to them. And while they having this conversation, it ends up zooming out, and you see Priest in the corner. Oh, this is like a barbershop. So they're having barbershop talk, and it's like a whole bunch of pimps in the barbershop all talking about their hoes and how they treat their hoes and all that kind of stuff. The pressure they put on their hoes and all that. You can see Goldie. Oh my gosh, I keep saying Priest. I'm so sorry. He's just on my mind. I'm not gonna hold you though. Can I be honest? The guy that plays Goldie, I believed him in the beginning, but once he became like the actual big pimp, I couldn't believe it. They should have had Ron O'Neal play him. Ron O'Neal would have ate in this character. He would have ate. Down. You can't tell me he wouldn't eat. So you can see that Goldie is just soaking up all of this information. Like, he's just soaking it up, soaking it up, soaking it up. So now we're taking to Goldie going to Lulu's place. And they're laid up in the bed and they're talking. And he's telling Lulu his dreams, basically. And he's telling her, I want to be the biggest pimp around. Like, I want to walk around with infamy. I want to be famous. Like, just like how people talk about Jesus, put a pin, I want them to talk about me. He's just telling her all the game he's been learning from the other pimps and just listening to them and all that. And she's laughing at him. And she tells him, you'll never be the best pimp unless you get game from me. Put a pin in that, City Boys. Put a pin in that. So after this conversation, City Boys. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all. So while he's sitting with Lulu and they're talking, you see red, white, and blue again, City Boys. And after the scene, now we are seeing Goldie. And he's walking up to a mirror. He's looking in the mirror. And then he's smiling at himself. He's wearing new clothes now. He got this leather on. You know what I mean? He's making money now. And then we see him in a black room on his knees, looking up, and money is raining down on him, City Boys. We're going to put a pin in that. Money is raining down on him. He is the man. He's the MACK, okay? So now we see Goldie, and he's going back to the neighborhoods, and he's wearing his brown, and he's in his car, his Cadillac, and all these little kids run up to his car, Goldie, Goldie, Goldie. And I'm not gonna lie, he's being sweet to the kids, and one of the boys asks, can he sit behind the wheel? So Goldie lets him sit behind the wheel, whatever, and the little kid is just so amazed by the wealth that Goldie has. And he tells Goldie that he wants to be just like him, like he wants to make money just like him. And Goldie tells him, I ain't gonna hold you, he ate this one. He said, you better not. I better never hear you saying that you want to be like me. You better be better than me. You better be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, goddamn an astronaut, a goddamn garbage man. But you better never say you want to be like me, because you do not want to be like me. So as this is all going down, right, Goldie ends up giving the kids money. But before he gives them money, he asks them, like, you know, have y'all been to school? Have y'all been going to school? Have y'all been attending your classes, doing your homework? Yeah, Goldie, Goldie, yeah, Goldie, Goldie. So he's giving all the little boys money, and one of them, he ends up sticking out, and he's like, I heard you didn't go to school. You know, Goldie keep his ears to the street, though. He's like, I heard you didn't go to school. Next time I hear that you haven't even gone to school, next time I come over here, you ain't getting no money. So he gives them a little one too. And as they're having this conversation, there's these two black women across the street, and they see him, and they said, one of them is like, ain't that a pimp? And then she was like, yeah, and I don't fuck with it, basically. She was like, I don't fuck with him. I don't care what he doing for the kids. You still a pimp. So you're still doing negative. Even though you're doing a little bit of good, you're doing a whole lot more negative. So now the scene changes, and Goldie is now at the club with Richard Pryor. I don't remember what his character's name is, but they're talking. And as they're talking, Goldie tells him, like, you know what, I've really been thinking. And while I've been thinking, I'm thinking about, you know, these prostitutes. I can never imagine being a woman, going out in these streets to sleep with random men for money. Anything can happen. They can rob you, they can kill you, they can rape you. Just to do all that, risk my life. Doing it in the cold, the rain, the sleet, the snow, the heat. Take all that money and give it to a man. I can never imagine it. And I'm gonna hold you, me either. I can't fucking imagine it. I can never. After he says that, then he laughs at Richard, because it's like a kind of break in silence. And he laughs at Richard. He says, well, I know why they're giving me their money. I know why they're giving me their money. But I don't know about these rest of these pimps. Well, you know, I know about me. I don't know about them. After he says this, he ends up telling Richard how he wants to continue to expand and, you know, make more money and put his hands in different pots, basically. So then we see Red, White, and Blue against the boys. So we're gonna see how Priest rails his women in for the most part. So he is on like this date. I wouldn't call it a date, but he's on like this date with this white girl. And so they're like by the water, and he is feeding her so many sweet nothings, city boys. He's telling her that he can get her anything in life. She'll be wealthy, she'll be happy, she'll be safe. He tells her he'll be her father, her brother, her lover, and her protector. I'm sorry, I don't want no man to be my father or my brother. That's fucking weird. Like, that's freaky as fuck. Anyways, so he tells her this, and he tells her all she has to do is listen to him, put all her trust in him, and never question him. And she'll get everything that he's promised her. He tells the lady that he doesn't want to have a piece of the pie. He wants to have the whole damn pie. So he's going to continue to expand. He's going to continue to become the main man, right? So she looks at him. Mind you, she don't even say nothing to everything else he fucking said. But she looks at him and she asks him, are you gonna share that pie with anybody else? Wake up! Like, oh, I just want to yell at my ladies. Wake up, please, my queens, wake up. Even if you white, wake up, please. They playing with your minds. Oh, what's it called? They're casting spells, people. They're casting spells. He ends up telling her, yeah, I might just want to share with the special lady that I just met. Referring to her. Anyways, so she ends up making the deal to be one of his women. They end up sealing this deal with a kiss, city boys. Pinning it, put a pin in it. So the cops end up catching Goldie again. Look, city boys, they just stalking him at this point. And they tell him, like, oh, I just can't wait. Like, I just cannot wait. And Goldie just looking at him like, okay, what the fuck? Can't wait for fucking what? I just can't wait for the day that I can rearrange your face. I can't wait for the day I can rearrange your black face. Your little black monkey face. Goldie starts laughing. And he's like, not if I catch you first. You little person. He doesn't say that word, but you little person. And the cops did not like that at all. We're gonna put a pin in the little person comment, but the cops did not like that at all. So they just start beating up on Goldie. Mickey, 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 Mickey. So they thought they was gonna, they thought they was gonna really beat him up, but Goldie ends up getting a one on him. Mickey, Mickey picks him up and throws him in the trash can. City Boys, one thing about them, they love throwing people in the trash can, girl. It gave me glee tease, you know what I mean? So next we are shown like one of the drills that Goldie puts his girls through. And this is showing like we're being shown how they steal, okay? So Lulu is really the number one. She is the bottom bitch. So you see, she teaching them, no, you open up your coat this way and you have the hooks in your coat. You take the hook, you put it in. You take the hook and you put it in. And then she looked at the other girl, no, you stupid bitch. When you're stealing and you act like you were pregnant, bitch, you better, when you leave with the stuff, you better act like it's the goddamn baby, bitch. So that's basically what's going on. As this drill is going on, Goldie ends up getting a phone call. He puts it on speaker, and Goldie is telling men like, oh, if she moved this way, then you gotta go this way. If she did this, if she used to work for him, that means, bitch, you getting played. She playing with your money. Go tell her to have a knife on her the next time he think he's gonna play with her. Cut his tongue off and give it to me. Put a pin in that. Next, we are being shown again one of their other plays, which is robbing, okay? So there's this white man and he's in this tub, right? And he has two of Goldie's girls, two black girls, and you know he's trying to have him a good time. So as he's soaking in the tub or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, we go be right back. Girl took everything from him. He runs out in some drawers, some white briefs, City Boys, briefs. Mind you, he's in a black neighborhood or whatever. He's screaming, oh my gosh, help me, those black bitches. Oh, he didn't call it black bitches. I'm dragging it. I'm sorry, I'm dragging it. But I feel like that's something he would have said though, so I'm gonna say it. These black bitches stole my money. $1,500, was it? $1,300. They stole $1,300 from me. He's calling for the cops. So this black officer ends up coming, right? And he's like, oh, what happened? Like, let me help you. He's like, these black women, they stole $1,300 from me. Da, da, da. So the black officer's like, all right, you look drunk. And you naked, you got some boxes on. That's indecent exposure. Clock it. And that's public intoxication. Hey, you see how I ate that real quick? He's over here like, my wife is gonna be so mad. My wife is gonna be so mad. So the officer's like, girl, I think you're just drunk. I don't think somebody really robbed you. No shit. So he ends up saying, I don't think you really got robbed. Why this white cop end up coming? He's like, oh, I'll take him. The black officer said, take who? I'm arresting him. Who you taking? He said, this is one of my people. I'm gonna take him. And just took him on. You know he never got arrested for that indecent exposure, girl. Anyways, as this is all happening, there's a crowd of black people. And they over here looking like, girl, what the fuck is this? Because I know. Because best believe if it was me, if it was you, if it was him, it was who? Y'all would have been arrested. We would have been arrested. But you know, he could be out in his little boxers because he's in distress, right? So Goldie ends up meeting up with his old boss again. And in this conversation, his old boss is like, I told you, Goldie, you gonna become the man. And right now, you the top man. But I gotta let you know something, Goldie. They plan on setting you up. Somebody's planning on robbing you. And he ends up telling him that it's one of the other pimps that's planning on robbing him. Goldie ends up finding the man that is supposed to be planning this robbery on him. And he finds him at the gambling place. And he puts a gun up to his head. And he tells him, I heard about you trying to rob me. This is your first and only warning. Don't fuck with me. Okay? Don't fuck with me. Because I'm going to kill you. Before I kill you, I'm going to kill everybody that you love first. Just so I can see that pain in your eyes right before I kill you. So watch out. Please watch out. And he leaves. But Goldie does not leave alone, City Boys. He takes the man with him. He puts the man in the trunk of his car. He pours a bag full of snakes. We're going to put a pin in that. Locks up the trunk. And just drives around the neighborhood. And then he drops the guy off at the hospital, okay? The guy's all bitten up and everything from the snakes. He is shocked. But why, as he drops him off, guess who's there, City Boys? The goddamn two cops. They try to run after Goldie's car. City Boys shooting at the car, but they don't get him. Driving around his neighborhood. Well, driving around their territory. And he's looking for his women. And as he's looking for them, he's in the car with one of his friends. And he's talking to them. He's like, you know what? You think I should tighten up on them? Because I feel like I've been running a tight ship, but I feel like anything can always get tighter. His friend is over here laughing together. He's like, yeah, why not? Put foot to ass. And Goldie's like, I ain't putting foot to ass. I'm going to keep my foot in their ass. Yeah, because that's how you make sure everything always runs smoothly. That's how you make sure none of these women ever get beside themselves. Ever think more of themselves. You hear me? So Lulu ends up running up to his car and she's in distress, City Boy. She's crying and she ends up telling him that like one of her Johns, right, ended up beating on her, robbing her, and she doesn't have the money. And instead of being understanding, you know, or trying to find the man, Goldie looks at her and tells her, I don't give a fuck. Wipe them tears and go back out there. I don't give a fuck if you gotta be there the whole night. I don't care if you gotta be there until the morning time. I don't care if you gotta be there 3 days straight. You're gonna stay out there until you make my money back. Okay? So that reminds you that next time, if they try to rob you, better do something to make sure you don't lose my money. The hell? She looks at him. And like, she's in so much disbelief. And this is one of the reasons why she was a renegade in the beginning. She didn't want a pimp because they would treat her like this. So she thought that if she went with the guy that she was friends with, that knew her from the beginning, that he would be more delicate with her. Like I said to you boys, she was the sacrifice. He didn't give a fuck about her. He didn't give a fuck about Lulu. He gave a fuck about the money that she makes for him. During this drive, Goldie ends up having his brother in the car, and he's telling his brother, you know, how he's treating these women, what he's doing to make his money and all that. And you can see his brother's face. He's just disgusted. He's extremely disgusted by Goldie. Goldie's telling him, like, how he's been telling everybody else how he wants to get bigger. He wants to venture out more. And his brother is telling him, while you're venturing out more, I'm closing all this shit down. Like, we can't have this stuff going on in our community anymore. Like, we can't have these pimps, these prostitutes, these gangbangers, these drug dealers in our neighborhoods. It's fucking up the kids. It's really fucking up the kids, and it's making these kids think it's okay. It's making these kids think that this is what they have to be somebody in this world. And I can't have that shit happen. And Goldie's like, well, these streets, all of them, they're my men. Like, they're my people. And his brother looks at him, and he says, these are your people? The people that are causing this destruction over here, these are your people? And in his brother's mind, he knew at that point, for sure, that we are on two different journeys. You're the yin to my yang. We're two different. Polar different. As he's coming to this realization, Goldie's trying to reel him back in. So he tells his brother to come to this speech that he's about to do with his women, and it's going to be at the aquarium. So we're taken to Goldie's aquarium show, and it's his women. I think they were in like a circle or something, and they are looking up at the sky. And in the sky, it is the stars, like a solar system, and he's shining lights, like projecting lights, and he's talking to them, right? They have to keep staring in the sky at the stars, and he's talking to them. We're gonna put a star in the stars. He's telling them, he's like, welcome to Goldie's illustrious family, where you'll be one. You'll be a part of us. You'll be a member. Have you ever felt alone before? Have you ever felt like you had no family or no purpose? I give you purpose. All you have to do is follow my 6 rules. So he makes them repeat the rules. I will not lie. I will not steal. I will not cheat. I will confide in Goldie. I will respect Goldie. I will remain a lady at all times. I will accept this life contract. City boys, Goldie is making them sign their souls to the devil, city boys. Every prostitute story I ever heard, I never heard them having to, you know what I mean? Give a goddamn, I signed my life to, girl. He tells these girls after they agree to be a part of his harem, he tells them that he will give them everything. The riches, the clothes, the wealth, real estate, property, all that will all be yours. All you have to do is stick by me, respect me, follow me, and I will lead you to the promised land. You see these stars? That's where you're gonna be at, in the stars. And he tells them, if you play your cards right, you will be with me at the Players Ball, the biggest soiree of them all for this line of life. The scene switches, and it's like a picnic day. It's field day, right? It's field day for the pimps and their prostitutes. And you see kids are playing outside too, and the kids are wearing yellow. City boys are gonna put a pin in that. And they're all playing. They're playing like softball. It looks actually really fun. I was gonna save this for the pins, but I'm just gonna say this right now because it's not that much. This is what gangs do as well. They have like a certain day designated for the whole group, no matter what section of it. Let's say if you're blood, right? No matter what group under the blood umbrella, you're all going to go to this picnic. You're going to this family day, and that's when they meet the new recruits. That's when they meet, you know, you end up finding out who switched positions and layers and all that kind of stuff. But this is supposed to build community. There's always these moments of fun whenever there's negative around. They have to put this fun, they have to put light times in, just so you're not always thinking about the negative that is coming from this type of lifestyle. So the 2 cops are looking for Goldie. They want to know where Goldie is, and they end up going to this bar, and the bartender is wearing a blue shirt, and they're asking him where Goldie is, and the bartender's basically like, bitch, I ain't no fucking snitch, bitch. If you want Goldie, girl, go fucking find him for your fucking self, bitch. The fuck? So the officers don't like this because they want everybody to do their job for them. And they want everybody to listen and obey and kneel to them. They end up telling the bartender that if you do not tell me where Goldie is, okay, we'll hang you. We're gonna hang you. So he ends up telling them. The cops end up finding Goldie, and they tell Goldie that they want to work with him, okay? I don't want to do this little, you know, little 1-2-1-2. I'm trying to be even more crooked than I'm trying to be a rainbow cop. I'm not even trying to be an angled cop. I'm trying to be a rainbow cop. I'm trying to be all the way crooked. Or no, a circle cop, because that's all the way crooked, all right? Goldie ends up laughing, and he tells him, girl, why the fuck would I ever want to work with you, bitch? I never want to work. I would even spit on you if you was on fire, bitch. I would never work with you a day in my motherfucking life, ho. Why am I cussing so much? I don't know why, but in my mind it feels like you're just supposed to cuss a lot when you're talking to people. And Goldie is telling them this. I love this part. Y'all want to be like me. So when they went to go get Goldie, right? Goldie was at a hibachi restaurant, City Boys, and he was with one of the white girls. And one of his black women was at the bar, and she was fucking pissed. Oh, I'm making all this motherfucking money so you could take that white bitch out for dinner. Da-da-da. And I understand. This is why I could never be a prostitute, especially having a pimp. I could never. Because he gonna take your money and spend it on other women. That's just what it is. The cops end up coming and getting Goldie out of the restaurant. And Goldie ends up telling them, like, you want my life? And I know you're real jealous because I got a white girl too. That's Goldie thinking that he on the same level as them because he has a white woman. He ends up saying, you want my clothes? You want my jewelry? You want my cars? You want my women? And you know what, bitch? I think you want to be in my motherfucking skin, bitch. I think you want to be black. Why they start laughing? No one wants to be you, monkey, and starts beating him up. If you were not pressed about what he said, then why are you fighting him? Because you do want to be him. You want to be him. And that continues. We're going to put a pin in that because that whole thought continues. Let's continue. So after they end up beating up Goldie, they end up arresting him and taking him to the precinct. While he's getting taken to the precinct, we're shown a man being entered into the precinct as well. So they ask him, what is his name? He says Jesus. He says, what's your last name? He says Christ. He says, where are you from? He says, Nazareth? If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. We're gonna put a pin in that too. We're gonna talk about that at the end. And I just thought that was funny too, I ain't gonna lie. We're now showing Priest as he's in the prison cell. And he is in the red, green, and black, City Boys. He's in the Black Power flag. So as he's laying in the cell, the cops come to him again and say to him again, let's work together. Like, you're making this a lot harder than it has to be. Like, we could literally just work together. He ends up telling Goldie that, like, if you do not work with us, you're gonna be in the morgue. So you literally have no choice but to work with us. While the officers is talking to Goldie, like, they're trying to talk in, like, jive language. And it was just so fucking, like, ugh. Like, you can't do all that, bitch, after you just called him all type of monkeys and shit. Like, you see how they love to play on both sides. The paradox, City Boys, the paradox in this movie is crazy. It's so much polar, so much polar. So as soon as Goldie ends up getting released from being in the precinct, he ends up getting kidnapped, City Boys, by this man named Fats and his men. And Fats is, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't even know if he's a crooked cop or if he's just a criminal. Because it's like, they all are hand in hand. I'm not gonna hold you. As Goldie is talking to Fats, Fats is telling him, like, you know, Goldie, I really missed you. Like, I really missed you working for me. And I missed how much money you used to make for me. Like, you used to make me so much money. And, like, when you were gone, it was so hard, Goldie. It was so hard finding some other black people to do the job that you used to do for me. Like, in that ghetto, it was just so many unsavory characters. But you were my favorite out of all those ghetto people. Goldie's looking at him, and I found this funny because the light-skinned man out of all the black people is the only one you can trust. Is it because his skin tone is closest to white? I don't know. I'm just picking. So Goldie turns him down as well. He tells him, I don't want to work with you. I'm doing good on my own. I'm making money from my women. I don't want to get back into the game. Like, I'm making my little $1,200 every week from my women. I'm good. I'm Gucci. This is the most money I've ever gotten in a while. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with this. I just want to stay in my own lane. So Fats ends up telling Goldie, it's not a question. Like, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that I need you back. As they're having this conversation, Fats tells Goldie that he needs to talk to his brother and get his brother to stop all these protests, stop all these meetings, stop trying to awaken black people. Stop trying to get black people not to buy drugs, not to be pimps, and not to be prostitutes. Stop, because he's fucking up my business. And if you cannot get your brother to stop, I will kill him. Goldie leaves to go talk to his brother now, and as they're talking, Goldie is kind of trying to get his brother to go into his life, like, to go into his lifestyle. Stop opening people's minds, and to stop taking money out of his pockets, okay? Because this is all that I have. This is what I'm worth. This is all I have, and you're fucking that up for me. His brother looks at him, and he's like, That's all you have? And when I tell you, Goldie goes off on his brother. 5 years. 5 years I've been in prison and you didn't call me, you didn't text me, you didn't send, well, not text, you didn't call me, you didn't send no letter, you didn't visit me, no money, no nothing. His brother looks at him and he tells him, because in those 5 years I thought, if I were to just give you money or if I was just to see you, I don't think it would have really made an impact. But in those 5 years, what I did was I started a movement. I started something that will be here for you after you come out of prison to help you along the way. I started something that will not only help us, but help these children. Help the people that are going to be leading us one day. But instead, no, you want quick satisfaction. You want something fast. I actually want to change shit around here. I'm tired of seeing my people crying. I'm tired of seeing my people weak. I'm tired of seeing my people struggling. And they're struggling because of you. And because of your actions, because you want to be number one. He tells Goldie that he's sick and tired, honestly, of these little kids looking up to him. Because with these little kids looking up to him, you know what it's teaching them? That you have to step on your brothers, on your sisters, so that you could become something in this world. So you can finally take that money and move out while you're leaving them in a worse position than you even came in with. You came out of prison, leaving them in a worse position than when you went in. Goldie tells his brother that when they were younger, they didn't have superheroes to look up to. They never had somebody to aspire to be like. And now the kids have somebody to look up to, him. After Goldie's brother, reins him out, Goldie just tells him, honestly, in those 5 years, I just needed my brother. That's all I needed, was my brother. City Boys, why after that heavy conversation? Why the next scene is one of them damn racist cops, girl? Guess what the fuck he doing, City Boys? He in this room, I don't know if it's his place, a hotel, I don't know, motel, I don't know. He's yapping. Guess who's sitting on his bed, City Boys? A nice BBW black woman, girl. She's a prostitute. She's sitting there, and he grabbing on her titties, girl, and he's telling her how he never trusted the giraffes, but he trusts the elephant because the elephant is big in there. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know what fucking point he was getting to, but we're gonna put a pin in that. I might have to get back and say something about it. But as he's going on this whole freaking tirade, his other officer ends up coming in and he ends up confronting him, basically saying bitch, how you racist and you fucking on this black lady? That don't even make no sense. Bitch, get your fucking mind right, okay? Get your mind right so we can all be racist together. We can't live our full potential of racism if you over here fucking black women. City Boys, I'm sorry. This is how it goes a lot of times. It's it's so weird to me and I've had conversations with these people, City Boys, and they will be quick to tell me how gorgeous I am, how beautiful I am, all this kind of stuff, City Boys. How they want to rub my soft skin, City Boys. The lotion on its skin or else it gets the holes again. Nah, but how all this kind of stuff about me. And then in the same breath, City Boys tells me that I don't deserve rights. It's fucking weird. It's that weird, possessiveness, that control. They just want to have control, but also at the same time, I'm sorry, black women, we're just gorgeous, City Boys. In all shapes and sizes, we're just so fine. So I can't blame you for thinking a black woman is fine. But bitch, stop being racist. That shit is weird. We end up seeing the crooked cops. They end up going outside and they end up finding some dealers and they robbing the dealers, taking the money from the dealers. And the same black cop from the beginning, he ends up finding them and he tells them you know what? Stop being fucking crooked. Stop doing this shit, man. Just stop. They tell him, no, I don't want to stop. And he says, all right, so since you don't want to stop, I have evidence. So much evidence on you. I got pictures, videos, all this. You're going to prison then. City Boys, don't tell these motherfuckers your plan. Please stop. So they shoot him on the spot. They kill him. Okay? They just shot him in his chest and dead. So after they end up killing the officer, they end up running into Goldie and Richard Pryor. And again, Goldie does not want to work for them. So they end up telling Goldie, okay, can you just start running? You two, run in front of us. And, just go. Run. Because they want to shoot him. They want a reason to shoot them, City Boys. And Richard Pryor, I don't know why, this film was mad funny. He's just going on. Goldie just walks away. Because he's tired. He's very tired, I'm going to be honest. So now, City Boys, we are taken to the Players Bowl. And I'm not going to hold you. It looks so fun. It looks really fun, and you got the lights and then the cars and all this kind of stuff, and it's just it just feels like you're a celebrity, no shade. So they end up enjoying themselves. We see red, white, and blue a lot of times, City Boys. And Priest ends up winning the MACK of the year, okay? But before, the third place, he's wearing blue. Second place, he's wearing blue, and then Priest is in his red, white, and blue, okay? And again, Lulu is shown on his hand, because she's the bottom bitch. She's shown on his hand, and she is in red. because she's the sacrifice. And guys, the player ball was actually the real players ball of that year. Yes, so the pimps that you see in there, City Boys, they are real pimps. Some of the prostitutes you see in there, they are real prostitutes, City Boys. Like, I thought that was so cool when I found out. I was like, oh wow. Fats is outside for Goldie, and again, he puts out the proposition that he wants to work with Goldie. He wants Goldie to work for him. He doesn't want to work with Goldie. He wants Goldie to work for him. Goldie turns him down again, and he breaks Goldie's cane. We're gonna put a pin in that. So that's when Goldie goes back inside and he wins the MACK of the year. So as Goldie goes back to his place now, we end up seeing the white girl that he was macking on in the beginning. She overdosed, City Boys. And she is in, again, red, white, and blue. I'm sorry, I missed this whole part out. But after Goldie had met up with his brother the second time, his brother was basically saying, like, you said that you were gonna do all these things, and you never did none of the things you said you were gonna do. You said you were gonna buy mama a house, you said you were gonna do this, you said you were gonna do that. Bitch, all you've been doing is flexing. All you've been doing is buying nice clothes and nice cars. Bitch, where the real money at? And that's when Goldie's like, oh, I'm about to buy a house right now. I'm about to buy a house. So he ends up buying his mama a house by the water, okay? It's a nice white house. As this is all going down, City Boys, when they were in the club, well, their little bar, whatever, we end up finding out that Goldie ended up getting one of Pretty Tony's women, okay? And she ended up choosing Priest. Oh, she ends up, see, I want to choose Priest. She ends up choosing Goldie, okay? And she does this low-key right in front of Tony. So Tony is pissed. And he want to fight fucking Goldie. Because, bitch, who the fuck you think you are? Bitch, you really think you run shit? So as this is all going down, then we end up finding out, girl, Goldie's mom got murdered, girl. Well, she didn't get murdered at first. She got beat up, right? Like, pistol whip. They beat her, like, down. And Goldie ends up seeing her in the hospital. And as he's talking to her, like, you know, mom, get your strength back up. Mom, get your... You know what I mean? She dies. Right in front of Goldie. Pinning that. So... after she dies, then that's when Goldie's like, you know what, I'm gonna meet up with Fats. So he meets up with Fats and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna work with you. Like, we can work together. But City Boys, the whole time, this was a motherfucking setup, City Boys. Yup. So he had some men walking around like they was homeless, right? I think these were the revolutionaries. Yes, this is a part of revolutionaries. Walking around like they homeless men, right? And then the one came with a, I'm gonna put the name of the thing right here. But he came with a, one of these, right? Bitch, it was a gun. Bow! Shot him in his shit. He laid there, dead. So next, Goldie is on his way to get Pretty Tony because he believes that he killed his mother, right? So he ends up finding Pretty Tony, and I believe Pretty Tony is in yellow, City Boys. So he finds Pretty Tony, him and Richard Pryor. So he ends up having a gun to get Pretty Tony to go into this abandoned building. As he gets into this abandoned building, I forgot what Pretty Tony was trying to do. They wanted Pretty Tony to start stabbing himself. And Pretty Tony was like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? I ain't stabbing myself. So they start shooting at his feet. Yeah. Make her dance like Michael Jackson. So shooting his feet. So he starts stabbing himself. We're gonna put a pin in that as well. So he starts stabbing himself. They end up tying him up to a chair, putting TNT in his mouth, and blow him up. The head falls down, and who guess was out there, City Boys? The crooked goddamn crops. Bitch, they everywhere. When do they have time to catch bad guys? Cause they so far up Goldie's ass. Goddamn. So now it is the funeral scene, and Goldie goes to his mom's funeral, and her coffin is surrounded by pink and yellow, I believe. No, pink and white roses. He's standing by his mom's casket, and he's crying, and he's just telling his mom how sorry he is. Like, how he just wished that this never happened. Like, he wished that he never got her involved into any of these things. And as he's crying to his mom's coffin, his mom's dead body, his brother comes behind him. This is the one time that you see his brother not in his red, green, and black. So his brother comes behind him and he tells him, Goldie, this is all your fault. You're the reason why my mom is dead. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't listen. I've been told you stop fucking with these people and you continue to because you're so fucking greedy. But here it is. You brought death to our mother's front door. Now you're gonna lead me to death. As he leaves the funeral, the same man, his same old boys, ends up telling him some tea that there is a hit out on him, okay? Yup, another one, City Boys. Bing, another one, thank you. Goldie leaves and he ends up going to Richard's place, and he has all his men surrounding the place, staking it out, because, like, you know, he's scared. He thinks something about to happen. But then he takes his gun and puts his gun in the refrigerator. Pin. So Goldie ends up leaving the apartment. I don't remember why. And as he leaves the apartment, the two crooked cops end up coming. And that is when we find out that the two crooked cops are the ones that killed his mom. Because they were mad that Goldie didn't want to work with them. So when Goldie hears this, he ends up having this, like, whole setup going on. They end up leading them to the back, right? They end up like this, like, they kind of like a dead end. It's not a dead end, it's like a gate. End up confessing that they killed his mom and all this kind of stuff. And they laughing about it. When I tell you, his motherfucking brother came out like motherfucking Michael Myers. Kyle Myers, bitch. He put him in that motherfucking Nelson. Yeah. Had his ass in that motherfucking Nelson. Had his ass like, what's his name from Baby... Oh, Rick Rames? Vic Rames? Vic Rames and Baby Boy. City boys, don't assume that my type is gangster man, okay? Don't assume that. But Vic Rames and Baby Boy, he had his one. Call for your mama. Choked them out and killed them. Yeah, city boys. Choked them out and killed them. So Priest ends up holding a gun to the other one, right? And mind you, the other one that he ends up holding a gun to is the one that was sleeping with the black prostitute, right? And he ends up trying to say like, oh, I'm like y'all, like I'm just like y'all, da da da, like we good, like we good, we cool, da da da. Girl, pow! Yeah, why am I holding like a shotgun? It was just like a little pistol. Pow! You know what I mean? Hit one of them. The film ends with Goldie's brother walking him to the bus and Goldie taking the bus and leaving California. Just like how he came into California. So that is the end of the movie, The Mack. The name Goldie. The name Goldie comes from Goldilocks. Locks, as in he was locked up. The story of Goldilocks and its connection to the film. In the tale of Goldilocks, it is a little girl who departs from her journey through the forest, intruding into the home of three bears, taking what she wanted and leaving destruction behind her. In the tale it states, if she had been a well-brought-up little girl, she would have waited till the bears came home. Perhaps they would have asked her to breakfast, for they were good bears. A little rougher so, as the manners of bears is, but for all that very good-natured and hospitable. But she was an impudent, rude little girl, and she set about helping herself. This encompasses the tale of Goldie or Cody and how he treats women. Look at his relationship with Lulu. She told him in the beginning that she wanted him to help her because she didn't like how heartless these other pimps were. She told him that she would do anything for him. And this is before he put any type of pressure onto her. Yet when she finally became one of his women and she really needed his protection, he threw her to the side. He disrespected her. And even more, he put her back onto the streets. The tale continues by saying, then Goldilocks, who was tired, for she had been catching butterflies instead of running her errands, sat down in the chair of the great big bear, but that was too hard for her. Then she sat down in the chair of the medium-sized bear, and that was too soft for her. But then she sat down in the chair of the little wee bear, and that neither was too hard nor too soft, but just right. So she sat herself in it. There she sat till the bottom of the chair came out, and down she came, plumped upon the ground, and that made her very cross, for she was a bad-tempered little girl. Goldilocks chasing the butterflies is reminiscent of Goldie trying to grab the money that was falling from the sky. He was so busy going after the money, running blindlessly, that he forgot the real point of his life was. What the real point of his life was. It is not for wealth, because you'll always end up with your ass on the floor, but for searching for purpose and meaning, like Olinga, his brother. Goldie's brother wouldn't have been led to the bear's house in the beginning because he was so steadfast on his path, but because Goldie did not know where he needed to go, but only knew what he wanted to get from it, which is self-satisfaction, he led right to the bear's door. The tale continues with, up she started, and when she saw the three bears on one side of the bed, she tumbled herself out of the other. She ran out of the window. Now the window was open, because the bears, like good tidy bears as they were, always opened their bedchamber window when they got up in the morning. So naughty, frightened little Goldilocks jumped, and whether she broke her neck in the fall, or ran into the woods and was lost there, or found her way out of the woods and got whipped for being a bad girl and playing truant, no one can say. But the three bears never saw anything more of her. Just like how Goldie left in the ending of the film, hopping on the bus and leaving California never to be seen again. Just like how he dropped into California to cause all this destruction. He left right after all the destruction came. Goldie getting 5 years in prison. A pentagon has 5 points. The 4 lower points represent the earth, fire, air, and water. The top point represents spirit. Spirit is located above the 4 points. The number 5 numerology personality is usually sociable, encouraging, and you may find it easy to connect with people from different backgrounds. This charm opens doors in careers, friendships, and partnerships. The negatives is that they are quick decision makers, but that can also lead to them creating more challenges for themselves. Acting without thinking through consequences may result in financial or emotional strain. This is shown in Goldie murdering Pretty Tony because he thought that Tony was the one that murdered his mother, but he never asked. He never did the research. He just acted onto his emotions. What is the meaning of a woman being sacrificed? According to this article, Reasons the Female Child Sacrifice, a historical, mythological, and religious investigation. This study explores the phenomenon of female child sacrifice as represented in mythology, ancient African, and Arabian societies. The reasoning behind this can be broken down to 3 different sections. So the first is purity and innocence. Girls are often seen as untouched, spiritually clean, worthy of divine contact. The next is fertility. Their potential for childbirth links with life, land, and cycles, making their death symbolically potent. And the last is obedience and passivism. Well, let me say four. There's four. The next is obedience and passivism. In patriarchal societies, girls are more easily objectified and controlled. And the final is property. Girls, especially daughters, were considered family or tribal property, which could be offerings without their consent. Goldie saw these women as his property, his way to reach the higher life, so he can do as he pleases with their lives because they're his property. That is why when he was talking to that white girl, what did he say? I'm your father, your lover, your protector, and I believe brother. I don't know, I might be just throwing that one in there. Father, because you are his property, not because he's going to protect you like a father would protect his daughter, because a father, a real father, would never prostitute out his daughter. Next, I want to talk about the red, white, and blue after Goldie sees his mom. Her saying that they stayed in Mississippi, but his father was murdered, so they had to leave. That is a story that a lot of Black Americans, especially during this time of the Great Migration, had to go through. It was either because of a lack of jobs or because in the South, it was the rise of the KKK and them coming in and pillaging and killing and lynching people. So they had to leave for their own safety. His father was a pastor, and it seems as if his mother didn't have a job. After his father was murdered, Goldie, being the oldest, had to step forward, which shows why he went into selling drugs or in the drug selling game to begin with. Goldie wanting to be compared to Jesus. Growing up, he did not have any superheroes to look up to, but his father was a pastor. They looked up to Jesus. A lot of Black people are taught that our heaven isn't on this earth, that we either have to wait for divine timing or we have to wait until our deaths to reach our own personal heaven. The story of Jesus is the greatest sacrifice for humanity, but that isn't the story that Goldie wants to be shared about himself, because he doesn't plan on sacrificing himself, but he wants that looming figure that even if a child doesn't have a television or access to any media, that they'll still know who he is. Because every child, to some extent, even if you don't believe in a God or you believe in a Jesus, you know the story of Jesus to some extent. Sealing the deal with a kiss. Goldie sealing his deal with the white woman with a kiss. In ancient Rome, long before formal signatures and written contracts were the norm, legal and business bargains were frequently finalized with a public kiss. Because many people could not write, a public kiss bounded the individual parties to their word in front of witnesses, carrying legal and social accountability. In the Bible, kissing the feet or garment of a revered figure symbolizes humility, devotion, and submission, but it can also represent deceit and betrayal. Because a kiss implies deep trust and affection, it can be weaponized. The most famous example in the Bible is Judas using a kiss as a false sign of a greeting to identify and betray Jesus. Goldie's kiss on that white girl is the kiss of death. After promising her protection, wealth, and success, she overdoses, which is one of the realest and one of the realities of this kind of life. If Goldie kept his promise of being her protector, being her father, and being her lover, 8 times out of 10, this would never reach this point. And it's only because he's only using these words to weaponize and to control these women. He doesn't mean anything that he's saying. The meaning of little people in history. In history, little people are shown in a few ways. One is tricksters. They are symbolized as mischief, whimsical, and unexpected disruptions in life. The other is the dreamlike realms. Encounters with little people frequently carry a dreamlike quality, reflecting our inner fears, sudden inspirations, or hidden desires. I want you guys to keep an eye and keep your mind on the hidden desires. The next is humility and spiritual connections. In spiritual and religious texts, little people, or the little ones, represent those who often are disregarded and seen as insignificant. This symbolism highlights that every individual and every element of a story contributes to a meaningful or the full and overall story. Humility and the importance of what is often overlooked. Goldie calling the cop a little person shows not only their insignificance in his life or as he sees it, but it also shows how sneaky and conniving they are. While being cops, they are working with the dealers and pimps, taking money and bribes from them. They're trying to work with Goldie, and they also murdered Goldie's mom as well as his co-worker. But I wanted you guys to keep your mind on the hidden desires. What was the hidden desire of one of the policemen? While he's calling Goldie all types of coons and monkeys and gorillas, what was he doing? He was turning around and paying for a black prostitute. He didn't have sex with her. He's sitting there talking to her, holding her, groping her. It's a hidden desire. But continue. Goldie having a white phone. In his American dream, he's doing fine. He is innocent. In his mind, he's not the bad guy because these women sweared an alliance to him. They gave their souls to him. They are his property. So in his mind, he can do as he pleases with his property. because it is helping him out. It is helping him succeed in this world, although he's hurting so many people. I put a pin in the Jesus Christ character being taken into the precinct. Jesus Christ is black. And in this film, it is shown with the man being booked into the precinct, naming himself Jesus. It also shows the true nature of who Jesus was and is, locked up behind the same bars that destroyed and altered the black man's mind and mentality. Just like how a lot of the white population altered the description of Jesus, yet stayed steadfast in any other scriptures that fit the narrative. Fats trusting Goldie because he's light-skinned and not trusting other black people. It is a part of pinning black people against one another, especially as it relates to color, which is seen during slavery with the house slaves and the field slaves, as well as the colorism that continues in the black community, as well as the Caribbean community, which brought into the rise in the epidemic of skin bleaching. Goldie wearing brown when talking to the children. The brown color relates to earth, Mother Nature, and relates to the natural way of life. With wearing this color, Goldie is showing the children that he's one of them. That although he tells them not to be like him, he's getting his Jesus moment. If children aspire to be like him, but the brown doesn't stand a chance when it came to the black women. They saw him for exactly who he was and called him out for it, still being horrible to the community, although he's giving money away to the children. Goldie talking out the side of his mouth. Once Goldie becomes the MACK, he starts to talk out the side of his mouth. The only time he does not is when he is talking to his mother, his brother, Lulu, his mentor, and the cops in the beginning. Talking out the side of your mouth can mean changing one's opinion, advice, or facts depending on who is being spoken to. Often this is an attempt to please everyone or manipulate an audience, which was shown in his conversation with Richard Pryor. While he was talking about not understanding how women can work jobs like this but give all the money to the man, he then hurry up and says that he understands why his women would work for him. Even when Goldie was trying to convince his brother of his lifestyle and then took his brother to the MK Ultra star brainwashing, he's talking out the sides of his mouth. He will say one thing, realize how bad it is, and then try to correct it right after. Goldie having dimples. Dimples are widely read as a sign of natural sociability, an ability to attract positive attention. They function like a social punctuation mark that eases relationships and first impressions. Capacity for humor, even in tense situations. Emotional expressiveness. Dimples often indicate someone who displays, making them perceived as genuine and emotionally accessible, which was shown in the conversation between Goldie and the white girl when they were on the boat. She tells him that just by seeing him, she just felt like she could trust him and that she should be with him. Brothers both representing yin and yang, which is funny because one is light-skinned and the other is darker, but they're the opposite. Their father was a pastor, which is where they get their ability to speak and command attention. The black and the yang represents Goldie, while the white and the yang represents Olinga. Yin is the black. It symbolizes shadow, the darkness, things that are quieter, aloof, the moon, and all things with dark energy. The white of the yang, on the other hand, is used to symbolize warmth, positivity, active motion, and the sun. Each half of the symbol has a small circle in the center, which is the corresponding color of the opposite side. This is done to show that each side carries the seed or the essence of the other. This symbolically tells us that in order to thrive in life, these forces must coexist and form a perfect union, as we should too with those around us. The meaning of the yin and yang shape. The full outer circle of the yin and yang symbol as a whole represents the entirety of the universe, the cylindrical and never-ending. Each half is split, but not straight through in a line, but by a perfectly even, concave, parabolic S curve. The S curve of the yin and yang symbol, both yin and yang, are interconnected and continuously in ebbs and flows. The inner circle represents their father. Their father is in each of them, yet they show up in completely different ways. Olinga is using the power that he got from his father, the commanding power, to command a revolution, to awaken people, to change minds, to put love into people, to see light into themselves. Goldie now is focusing on the negative. He is the darkness. He's using his power to brainwash these women, to get into their minds so they believe that he's all that they got. The promise that Goldie made his women of real estate, money, etc. is giving me 40 acres and a mule. False promises. He is becoming the white man. When Goldie is hypnotizing his women, he is wearing a black power colors. This is showing that he could be using his gift of speaking in words towards positive, but yet he chooses it for destruction. This scene also connects to MK Ultra that the government does to break the human mind enough and able to get inside of it and control the person. This can work with subliminal messaging, hypnotism, as well as trigger words, which Goldie is doing. Goldie in lockup is wearing black power colors while he turns down working for the cops. Has he changed? Or is he using the movement to help him with his troubles that he's in? After they helped him kill Fats, his brother helped him kill the crooked cops. Fats breaking Goldie's cane. The meaning of canes. Walking canes are different from walking sticks because people show them more as a fashion accessory than for mobility uses. Gradually, these canes became the ultimate symbol of wealth and power. They were often made from lavish materials such as crystals, ivory, gold, and silver. People with affinity for mythology would have their canes engraved with images of dragons, sphinx, and griffins. However, people who were interested in wealth and power, they were often made from lavish materials such as crystals, ivory, gold, and silver. People with affinity for mythology would have their canes engraved with images of dragons, sphinx, and griffins. However, people who were interested in the occult would have their canes made with exotic woods and would embellish them with ancient symbols or skulls. Fats splitting the cane into two, meaning universally symbolizing duality, balance, partnership, and choice. It represents the fundamental contrast between opposites, such as dark and light, male and female, good and bad. Going back to the idea of Goldie being the yin and yang. Goldie is broken into two pieces, Goldie and Cody. Goldie winning the MACK of the year. The two guys before him in blue. One is in a regular shade of blue, the other is in a deeper shade of blue. This represents a deep amount of sadness that is about to take place for Goldie to reach his American dream. The death of his mother and losing the relationship with his brother. The white girl dying. Red, white, and blue. This represents life. It represents this lifestyle. Next, we're going to get into the gematria. So first, we're going to do Cody. So his original name is Cody. So an original gematria is 47, and the reduction is 20, and the reverse is 61. The reverse reduction is 16. So when we add up all those, you get 2 for the original, 2 for the reduction, 7 for the reverse, and 7 for the reverse reduction. 2 goes back to the discussion of balance and yin and yang, which Goldie has none of that in his life. 7, the number 7 universally symbolizes spiritual awakening, wisdom, completion, and intuition, rooted in both the mysticism and the natural world. It represents the bridge between the physical and the divine, formed by the union of the earth's number. Formed by the union of the earthly numbers 4 corners of the earth, and the spiritual number 3, the Holy Trinity. Going back to him wanting to be Jesus Christ, because 7 is the number of perfection. Now we're going to go to Goldie. So an original gematria is 52, and reduction is 34, reverse is 110, and reverse reduction is 29. So you get 7722, which is the same that we got for Cody, but the only difference is now reverse. Through his real name and the identity that he created for himself, he's still an unbalanced man. Next, we're going to go into Lulu. So for original, we get 66, reduction, we get 12, reverse, we get 42, and the reverse reduction, we get 24. So that's 3366. So the number 3 universally symbolizes creativity, harmony, and completion. It represents the synthesis of creation, where 2 opposing forces become to form a third element, which represents her relationship with Goldie, helping him create his empire. She told him that he'll never reach his full height or really know the game if it wasn't for her to teach him. She made him believe from the first meeting in the film that she makes him complete and whole. 6, just one off of perfection, which goes back into the conversation that Goldie and Lulu had, with him telling her that he saw her as a nurse, educated. He's seen her as a nurse and educated because she had it all. But the only thing that she was missing was the money to get her through school, which resulted in her working the streets, especially after the death of her mother. Olinga. In the original gematria, we get 58, reduction, we get 31, reverse, we get 104, and reverse reduction, we get 32. So you get 4455. The angel number 4 is a powerful symbol of balance, stability, and support. When you encounter angel number 4, it is a reminder that your ancestors or your spirit guides, that you are safe and protected. Just like a table with 4 sturdy legs, angel number 4 represents the need for solid foundation in all aspects of your life. The number 4 is associated with the 4 corners of being, the physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental. It urges us to pour efforts into each of these areas, achieving overall stability and strength. By nurturing nurturing these aspects of ourselves, we can take risk and pursue our goals with confidence. This is shown in Olinga's personality, creating a Black Power movement not only to help support his older brother once he's released from prison, but also for the children and young men in the neighborhoods so they do not turn to crime, creating a stable foundation for them to turn to and see value in themselves. Goldie buying his mom a white house by the water, meaning of the water and the house by the water. The water represents a separation that Goldie has between his life as Cody and his life as Goldie. So putting his mother by the water is him believing that he can separate her from the dangers of the life that he lives. The house is white, which shows that his mom is pure, unknowing of what he's doing, but also showing the blame that she puts on herself for his misfortunes. Meaning of the pink and white roses. White roses have played a prominent role throughout history, often symbolizing purity, innocence, and sacredness. In ancient Greece and Rome, white roses were associated with the goddess Aphrodite. Venus, to the Romans, the goddess of love and beauty. According to mythology, white roses were created by Aphrodite, emerged from the sea, and her tears mixed with the sea foam to create these delicate blooms, which connects his mother back to the water again. And in the film, she also says she always wanted to live by the water, I believe. I don't know. I might be making that up. Pink roses symbolizes grace, ambition, and sweetness. Lighter roses convey gentleness and gratitude, while deeper pinks represents appreciation. Goldie told his mom that he's going to fight the man the only way he knows, which is playing his game, not turning to religion. This can go with the shift of Christianity into Black people. A lot of the pre-slavery, a lot of Africans, and some of the Africans that did come to America, they believed in a lower God that was right before you get to the main God. And with this God, you will speak your desires, you speak your frustrations, and they listen to you and they will help you. But they believe that the overall God didn't have time for human problems, so they never prayed to him. Now when we go into slavery and the white man is forcing Christianity, they're forcing them to pray to a God that they've always believed will never listen to them. So for Goldie, he is taking this kind of ideology. So instead of praying to a God that you forced me to believe in, that I know won't listen to me, I am going to do the work that you guys do as well. Because like I said before, a lot of white people believe that their heaven is on earth. So they're going to do everything in their possible. They're going to do everything in their strength in order to live that heaven here instead of waiting for somebody to give it to them. If you're just only focusing on prayer, you're waiting for somebody to give you something when you should be doing the work as well. Goldie making $2,000 a week from his girls. A lot of twos popped up in this film. Even the crooked cops have butt chins, both of them. Next, we're going to talk about the elephants and the giraffes. Giraffes, which represented white people in his film. Giraffes inspire calm and balance. It draws its power from this natural elements, the earth in which the giraffe lives and the skies in which the giraffes gaze into. This enables it to unite two energies to find the perfect balance. In this way, it guides you towards harmony between mind and body, foresightedness, intuition, and gentle strength. Due to their height and incredible eyesight, they represent the ability to rise above immediate challenges and see the bigger picture. To me, that does sound like a lot of white people. And when I mean white people, I mean as in the conquering white people. Because for them, they saw the foresight. They saw that, hey, let's put this into reference with the scramble for Africa. For them, they saw the end game. We're gonna put these rivaling tribes together because once they kill each other, we can have this land. So they don't care about how long it takes them to do it. They know it's going to happen. They have that foresight. But next is the elephants, which represent Black people. Elephants are often associated with power, inspiration, strength, longevity, and perseverance. The elephant is known to have excellent memory, as well as the ability to pass on its ancestral wisdom. That sounds like Black people. For one, longevity and perseverance. Longevity and perseverance. If everything went the way in which these conquering white people wanted to, there would be no Black race. It would be extinct. It's that longevity and the perseverance. It's not just surviving, it's thriving. That's how you make sure that the bloodlines continue to its full potential. The next is passing on ancestral wisdom. City boys. I will say this in all diasporas of Black people. The stories that you are told, the pictures that you are shown of your ancestors. Sometimes you don't get pictures, you just get stories. The feelings of their memories rushing through your body. That's that ancestral wisdom that is being passed down. Sometimes it's not through words, it's through actions. There's certain things that we do just because we just know we're supposed to do it. It's that ancestral ancestral wisdom. Fats was shot up with battery acid. It just reminded me of Superfly and coffee. I just wanted to put that in there. At the end, Olinga is wearing a poncho with the Black Power flags on. Goldie goes to give him a hug before he gets into the bus to leave California, but Olinga does not hug him back. So I wanted to talk about the significance of ponchos. Ponchos, the unbroken, continuous shape of a poncho, is viewed as a form of spiritual armor, wrapping the person in a single piece of woven fabric, creating a boundary that helps deflect lower vibrational energies and anchors your personal space. If the poncho has a hood, it is physically and metaphorically shielding the mind, serving as a spiritual helmet to protect your thoughts and promote inner peace. City Boys, I wanted to sit on that for a second. When seeing his brother off, Olinga is wearing a shield of protection, a armor of protection, because he knows that with his lightness, with his yang, that yin from Goldie can
if I had to give this movie a rating, I would rate this movie
He has to keep his mind right.
As the film itself, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. But for the context of the film, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Because I like the context of it. I just don't like the film itself. Like, I think the thing... Alright, I like the film. I like everybody in the film, but Goldie. I feel like Goldie just was not convincing to me. Like, I couldn't see him being my pimp. Like, if he was my pimp, I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out my face. You know what I mean? Like, if you over here telling me, like, oh, bitch, you better work, bitch, night and day until you get my money. I'm like, bitch, you scrawny motherfucker, bitch, I'm gonna say, you, because you know it's the 70s, so I'm gonna be like, you scrawny motherfucker, get out my face. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'll probably say something like that. He'd probably beat me, girl. I don't know. Now we gonna have to knuck. I'm sorry. We if you wanna fight me, we gonna fight. You ain't gonna just hit on me, bitch. We gonna fight. No, we ain't. So yeah, that's why I said I feel like a man like Brian O'Neill, or the guy that played oh my gosh, he was in Shaft. The guy that played Shaft. I could believe him. You know what I mean? Or the guy that played King George. I could believe it. You know what I mean? But Goldie, girl, Goldilocks, girl, better get the hell out of my face. But yeah, City Boys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, City Boys. City Boys, I am on the road to 1,000 City Boys. I really need your help, okay? On top of that, the next film that I think I'm gonna review, I will do a breakdown on, because we gotta go to Woman, right? I don't know, I'm thinking Stepford Wives, you know? Get out of Black for a little bit. We're gonna come right back. So I think the next film that we're gonna do is Stepford Wives, no shade. If it's not, I'm sorry. I tried, okay? Yeah, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, City Boys. Your favorite commentator, your favorite movie commentator and movie breakdowner is checking out, City Boys. Go to Saint. No!